We'll start with just chatting today because I got to get my stuff together. Little behind because a late breaking issue came up today and I had to patch it. Hello, peoples. Here's my chat. Here's my chat. There's my chat window thing. All right, where's my gloves? There's my gloves. There's my drink. Yo, Fox Girl, what's up? How your eyes doing? You seeing clearly, more clearly nowadays? Last time we spoke, you had recently gotten surgery, I think. Or you had one eye done and you were getting the other one. Ooh, I could be better. I had another surgery. Oh, why do you always show up after surgery? Is there something about surgery? They're like, I'm going to go see Matsu. My audio's, yeah. It's like, Oh, I had surgery. Let me go see what Machi's up to. I know it's kind of a joke, but it's just like I always get to find out when you have big updates. With my back brace on. So you said I could do better. I had surgery yesterday because the calcium grew back. Oh my god! And now my cornea has fully rejected. It's fully rejected. I might need to care. We try to do this. A keratoprosthesis, which is a fake cornea. Oh, I'm sorry. I am sorry about that. I actually thought it would be going better now. That really sucks. And was it just one eye though? I mean, did you have surgery on both your eyes? I thought you had both eyes. Hey, Killboy, thanks for the resub. Guess I'll throw you into code somewhere. Here, you'll be in the controller code because you're controlling my life. Today is the 29th. Just your left eye? Okay. You mad lad? No. 39 months. What? So just your left eye. That sucks. I didn't realize that it was like a calcium growth thing that was happening. I don't know how any of that works. Or doesn't work. It's so crazy to think when you're a kid, you're like, oh, you can just get like an organ transplant. But no, even if the organ supposedly is compatible with your body, it doesn't always work. So crazy. Even like our own bodies attack ourselves sometimes, which is so crazy to me. But we do live in a world of entropy, or universe of entropy. I don't know where the music is at in terms of volume. It looks okay to me. If it's too loud, let me know. Well, other than the eye stuff, and feeling pretty crummy about that, I hope that the other stuff is not bringing you down. You know, life. I mean, because, you know, life stuff can do that. All right. Well, if you want to share anything else, feel free. I don't have anything interesting to share. Certainly nothing of that caliber. Not that it's interesting. Not that it's like, oh, I don't know. I'm bad with words sometimes. My doctor says if I do more corneas from donors, I might just reject them again. That's why my doctor says. You know, that's one of the reasons I like like I listen to a lot of sci-fi audiobooks. Because even though the more thorough authors will point out that even with high technology, not every problem is solvable. A lot of them have these, like, you know, these sort of problems are solvable by some nanotechnology or whatever. Like, yeah, why can't we have that? Why can't we have things that just fix? Well, feel free to keep sharing. I'm going to pop over to my code. I didn't show Killboy me putting the code in. I'm going to put on my work glasses that I got from PAX. I did it as a joke, but it also tends to offset the light that I use as a key light. So now I'm a glasses person. They're not prescription lenses or anything. Just, you know, yellow. Oh, it's weird. It's like light more on me. My eyes. I can handle more light on my face when it's like He says the fake cornea would provide almost perfect vision. Oh, I thought a fake cornea was like not functional. That's cool. Then I mean, it sucks that there's more maintenance, but I thought you were saying like they just give up and get a fake eye. It's actually a functional cornea. Okay, that's cooler than I thought. I mean, other than the maintenance part. I suppose that they can use stuff that your body won't reject, theoretically. So I'm glad to hear that. Look it up. It's kind of creepy. Well, here, I'll go to my browser. So some weird thing happened. I think it might have been like a Windows update. But whenever I have a screen recording now, if I try to open Chrome, it doesn't work well. So I have to do it on a different computer because my Chrome will just basically crash. Fake cornea. There it is. Does it look significantly different? It looks like it's just like a metal piece in the eye. I should go look at images. Oh, whoa. Cyborg eye. Wow. That's like what you see in sci-fi movies. The ones that have little bumps in them. Oh, that's like that like creepy feeling. Yeah, it could be something with OBS. There was a period of time I wasn't streaming because I was too busy. And when I got back to streaming, I had all these problems, and it included like a bunch of tools got updated. So it could be related to that. What am I working on tonight? It's been a minute. A lot of stuff going on Alterium Shift. I just did a hot fix today because the controller stuff was broken. Watching you on YouTube instead of Twitch tonight. Twitch, think you meant to say. Twitch buffers like 2010, whereas YouTube doesn't. Okay. Emulated Andy. What is your Twitch user? Because you're on, I see the YouTube thing. I guess I could read it on. I don't have a really good way of, I guess I could turn multi-streaming on, maybe. I just don't see things as well on multi-streaming. I could like open YouTube on a different one. Well, Andy, if you want to say words and I'm not paying attention to you, it's not because I'm trying to ignore you. Same name, Emulate Andy. Oh, okay. Well, welcome to the YouTube. Thank you for increasing my viewer count by 1. I only stream to YouTube for the heck of it. I don't really get a lot of viewership on there, but I think YouTube, like the form of content, needs to be more digestible, and streaming is just not a great format. People going to YouTube want content that's been curated to some degree. What am I working on tonight? Okay, let's talk about what I'm working on. Very exciting, boring stuff. I'm going to explain it because this is indicative of how I solve problems. This problem has been in the system for a long time. And when I first solved it, I was like, oh, this is fine. It'll work for now. And I didn't really think about the implications. And it has to do with cloud sync or cloud save. So in the game, you can turn on cloud saves, which is great. It means that in Steam, it'll sync your changes to any other device that you're using. No problem there. People want cloud saves. People got cloud saves. But there is a little problem. And I'll show you guys this. Found you via Twitch originally, but for some reason, YouTube works better on my internet connection. Hey, welcome to the YouTubeverse. I'm glad to have you here. I think I recall you stopping on Twitch side. There's a command you should know on Windows. It updates all software. Run command prompt with administrator. Enter winget update all. Thank me later. Cybersecurity in college. Oh, okay. I'll take a look at that for sure. Winget. I thought you were going to say something like RMRF star dot whatever. rmrf./star.star. So in our save system, Motzi trying to be brilliant, and it's hard to see this, but I don't really have like a. Oh, I can zoom in. I'll zoom in, enhance. In here, there is a save folder and a cloud folder. The save folder is what your base saves are. This is what's on your machine. And the cloud folder is for cloud saves. Now, the reason I made two separate ones was when I first started setting up cloud saves, I was very paranoid that users would lose their saves. And we'd already gotten some negative feedback about losing saves and, other things, right? So all these files, I'm like, okay, I don't want to risk people that don't have cloud sync turned on losing anything if they turn it on suddenly and they've got like a conflict between two different devices. So instead, when you turn cloud saves on, what it does is it makes a copy of your saves into here if the cloud saves doesn't already exist, or it gives you the option to like overwrite it. So you can essentially take whatever machine you have and say, I want this machine to be the authority, overwrite everything in my cloud save folder. So this folder right here is what Steam gets to control. And the way cloud save work on the basic level is, and it's just the same save folder, is it just looks at a folder and finds changes and syncs them into the cloud. That's it. It's not a very complicated thing. I didn't have to write any code to make the cloud save work. I just had to tell Steam, here's the folder I want, and here's the folder structure, and here's how I want you to sync it. All good so far. But there's a little bit of a chicken and the egg problem. So our game has a concept called persistent data. Well, it's not a new... Ooh, this fancy concept. So you have save files, which are the instance of your game. And then you have persistent data. Oftentimes, persistent data will be things like configuration, your sound control settings and stuff. Because usually you don't want sound settings to be tied to a save file. In fact, Smile Game Builder used to be set up that way. We changed it because the core engine underneath, it would, if you made changes to like configuration while you're playing the game, that config stayed. Which I guess I'm sort of half and half on that. I think that you need a different way to save things if it's configuration related, because you don't really want to tie your preferences on things like the windows and all that to one save file. So ostensibly, this is great. In the persistent data store, we store a bunch of flags and switches for things that affect all of your saves, like doors that can open and close based on something that's switched. That's one aspect of our game that's sort of a unique component. We also store the bestiary. And I need to rest your eye. All right, I hope your appointments go well, Fox Girl. Whenever you want, please tell me. You can also just tell me on the Discord or whatever. I'm curious to know how you're doing. If you ever want to pop in to the Discord to say, hey, Motzi, guess what? Or just pop into the stream. Anyway, have a good night. Hope that your eye stuff goes better. Cyborg guy does sound kind of cool, though. Just saying. So this persistent data file has a bit of a chicken and the egg problem because the file in and of itself tells whether cloud saves are turned on or not. I suppose I could do something different for that. Maybe that's what I should do instead of trying to like overcomplicate my life. No matter what I do, I'm gonna have to solve this somehow. Okay. Anyway, I've already got lost in potential complications. So, so in my brilliant, I'm a coding queen on Disc. Oh, you are coding queen. In case I decide to join. Okay. It's like you were saying you are coding queen. Which also the two things can be true at the same time. I am coding queen on Discord, and I am a coding queen. So I use the persistent data to store the setting for cloud saves, which means when you first load the game, it's got to know which persistent data to load, because right now, persistent data is also stored in the cloud save folder. See where this problem is going? Unfortunately, I don't have something in the game at runtime where if you change that setting it reloads the appropriate persistent data file. And I just realized fundamentally that regardless, whatever setting is used for cloud saves probably shouldn't be stored in persistent data. That's another problem in and of itself. So in my infinite wisdom, the way that I manage the setting, I swear I'm going to get to actually solving a problem at some point. The way that I manage the settings, like all the different flags for the game, is the system configuration. This is how, if I'm working on a new feature like on-map battles, while I'm testing it, I can turn it on. But when I'm ready to do a build or deployment, I turn it off. So I use this for a bunch of different things that, like if it's a demo build, there's a flag reset. I don't particularly like it right now. I think I should have a different way, but for now, that's how it works. Well, I also made the cloud setting enable cloud saves in here too. And regardless of whether I have this here, this problem would exist. But one particular problem here is I have this disabled by default, because that's how when we deployed cloud saves, we said we don't want to force people to use it, so it's off by default. So when the game starts, it loads the persistent data file that is in the root of the system right there. And so whatever is set in there becomes what you're using for the game. So it never even pulls the cloud save data. But when you're in the game, if cloud saves are on, when it goes to do some persistent saving, it thinks that you're using that file and it tries to save. It's just some weird stuff that happens. So if you fight a monster and it shows up in your best area while you're playing, and then you reload the game, it no longer shows up in your best area. It's a problem. It's a very insidious problem that's probably been there for a while. And now I've got to figure out how to solve it. Now, it's a two-parter now that I talked through the problem. The first part of the problem is I don't think I should save the cloud option in the persistent file that I need to load. That's the first part. I should be able to set it once, and every time I load the game thereafter, it will load the proper persistent data file. That will actually solve the core problem, because right now the problem is when it starts up, whatever you set it to last, it first loads it one way, and then it tries to load it the other way, and it doesn't work. The other problem, though, is that if you change it mid-game, we also need all the persistent information to be updated accordingly. Now, I don't particularly care if someone goes in and tries to like mess around and like turn it on and off. There are switches and stuff in game where if you set them, it'll affect other things in the game. But I don't like. It doesn't bother me if someone's like, I'm going to go switch to switch while I'm still on the map. Then I'm going to change the cloud save, but I'm still on the map, and it's going to be the wrong one. So when I leave and come back, it'll be different. It's like, I don't care. People doing that probably intentionally are trying to mess with things. Right? And it won't break anything in the game. But I do need it to be able to reload the fundamental data of the persistent store if you change that value. So we got two parts of a problem to solve, and I have no idea how long this will take, but I'm sure it's going to be glorious. So, the other thing I have to think about when solving a problem like this is when you have a game that's released and people are actively using it, like the bug that was found today, is like, oh my god, I gotta go fix that. You can't just willy-nilly make fundamental changes to configuration. If someone has cloud saves on, I don't want to make this change and turn it off for them. So I've got to... I guess it doesn't really even matter what the cloud save setting, like how it ultimately gets stored. I've got to figure out how to make reload work first. It so happens I started working on it. I just never finished it. So let's see if we can figure this out. So first off, we have what I did was I made a reload method. And all I did is I took what we currently use for loading persistent data, and I made a way to just re-trigger it and then trigger an event. So what I have to do is find anything that relies on persistent data, and if this reloads, I want it to do its own thing to reload its own data. So the example would be in the bestiary, data manager. I actually have a reload thing here. This is Unity event, right? I don't know if this is the best way to do it. This is the way I'm doing it. The reason it does minus and then plus is because in case this was already listening, there's no way, as far as I can tell, to go to an object and say, hey, are you already listening? Like, the effort to figure out if this is already listening is more than just doing a negative and a plus. It's so stupid. There needs to be like just a register button that's like, it'll only do it if it doesn't exist already, right? But it doesn't have that option, I don't think. I think there's like, I mean, I hate it when things are this stupidly mundane of a problem that you have to solve it this way because the alternative is a million times harder, and I don't know why it should be. Maybe they just try to make this a simplified solution. I don't know. So, anyway, regardless, when the bestiary is loaded, I have this initialize method here. This runs and sets everything up. It will pull information from the persistent store, and it will tie in to reload the persistent store if it needs to be reloaded. I did put this runtime initialize on load method. Not sure if I should do this or not, but essentially I wanted to make it when the game, like when everything starts up, it'll just run during the initialization process. I really want to make sure that this happens for the persistent store. Don't know if it's better or not. What it is. There's not really a good way, I think, to... Oh, we'll figure this out. But we'll see. This doesn't work yet, incidentally. At least as far as I know, it doesn't work. So I have to find out if there's some other reason why. We're going to just put an initialize, and then we're going to go to persistent store, and we're going to do a debug method here, and then we're going to go to the cloud setting controller. This is where we set it. We're going to turn on this. So this is when, if I were to set the setting, whether it's on or off, I would want to make sure the persistent store was reloaded. The only time this should change is when you change the value. So I think it's technically an acceptable approach. We'll find out once it builds. But I guess we'll go back to doing dad jokes while we wait. What do you call it when a creepy guy goes mini golfing? Off-putting. Off-putting? 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 Probably off-putting. Yeah, don't worry. We're just in the reloading script assemblies phase. A crab box in the bar. 1 beer, please, says the crab. But if I'm not satisfied, I'll require a full refund. You may dispute the claim that the beer wasn't satisfactory, at which point we can move to an arbitration process. The agreement is only between us, and I expect full confidentiality. Sure, says the bartender, but why the big clause? Could turn it into a Santa Claus joke. I think the last time I saw this, I was like, oh, you could do a Santa Claus joke. Okay, so let's take a look at our console, which you probably can't read over there. I've been thinking of changing my overlay. Like, I see other people I don't know if people want the little voxels at the bottom or not. You could just remove them. They take up a lot of space. Okay, so initializing bestiary. Bestiary is initialized. Why is my... why are my keyboard keys not working? Keyboard keys? Why you no working? I'm a little worried. I'm gonna go... Oh, please, dear goodness, tell me I did not just deploy something that fixed the controller and broke the keyboard. That would be not good. Let's call it a fluke. Can it be a fluke? Please be a fluke. Oh, good. No, the keyboard keys are not working at all. Perfect. Why would they not be working? How am I not myself? This is really obnoxious. If I could roll it back. But then then the controller issue is back. Let's just go take a little glancey glance at what's going on here. Keyboard and mouse. Because I am an idiot. Well, it might end up being a short stream tonight. Because I'm going to have to go rebuild this thing and deploy it. I can't win for losing. Alright, hold on. I gotta go confirm all these things are set. Hey, that one's set. That one's set. How did I miss the freaking keyboard arrow? Oh my goodness. How did I miss that? That is so obnoxious. Cancel? Yeah, cancel works. Escape is great. Every other setting is fine. We don't really care about the mouse, but I guess we could do that for the fun of it. Mouse? Oh, I don't even have a profile for that. I think we can let people put and pin. Just a tip though. Touch, press, trigger. What? Oh, that's some kind of special controller. Well. I don't really have a scroll wheel thing. Middle click, right click, tracker device, mouse movements. Delta, sure. Console. That one's there. So somehow I did not put regular keyboard input for arrows. How did I achieve such greatness? How did I become so amazing at breaking things? Years of practice. That's all I gotta say. Now I'm gonna just double check all these other settings because who knows? Yeah, those ones are good. That one's good. Zoom. Oh, what's that? F? F's in chat. Alright. So F in the keyboard. Not that that gets used yet. E. Sure. Cancel. What am I doing, you ask? Well, when you have different potential keyboard schemes, you can use something called input masking. So that if you want to say only these ones will work for gamepad or types of gamepad, you can make sure you just switch the input mask, which is great. Only problem is if you don't configure the actual inputs, you are screwed. Well, that's good. You know, in the same night, I'll do 2-point version releases. Perfect. This is perfect. Oh. I can just imagine the users and their feedback right now. Wait, you fixed it for one and you broke it for the others? WTF, mate? Yeah. Yep. WTF indeed. Basically, I'm just looking for any of these that don't have something set there. Well, I'm staying true to my word. Fixing bugs. Creating bugs, fixing bugs, doing all the things. Might be an extremely short night. Because I don't have a really good way right now to build. I don't have anything set up where I can like build in the background. I can't quite work on any project while it's building. Play a game. Okay, we could do like a short stream. And hope nobody yells at me in the next hour or so, 2 hours. It does take about an hour and a half for the build to go, which is another problem. Well, good thing I was looking at things. What I'll probably do is just confirm this fix works, and I'll just see if I can fix the persistent thing. Although I'm working on the same pad branch, so I'll have to like disable my reload thing for the moment. Because I don't want to patch something that's not fully working yet. Quick save, quick load. I don't want those to actually do anything. Toggle full screen. Toggle full screen might be something, but I don't think I have that wired actually. Right trigger. Okay. So that should be good. Let's save this. Let it rebuild. So I should be able to get the input now and see if the persistent store stuff works. I suppose that the persistent store stuff works, I could deploy it. It's a little bit more risky to not have fully tested that, though. Come on, build. Come on, build. Okay. Now the arrow input will work, I hope. If it doesn't, I blame you, the viewer, for watching. Just kidding. Okay, so we have arrow input now. And we'll have to do a build. Let's see what happens now. So right now, Cloud Saves theoretically is turned on. Let's turn it on. Reloading persistent. Okay. So, you know how I know this is working? Because my attempt to turn off cloud saves causes it to reload the persistent store to a store that has cloud saves on. And so it never appears as off. That's insane. insane. But I thought let me see here. I thought I had. Does it happen after the save? No. Navigation. Set active. What is this? Load setting, update setting. Oh, this is the wrong one. Okay, so what I want to do is on the save setting, not the... I just put it in the wrong place. We save the setting, and then we reload persistence, and then we update. Okay. That's where we want to do it. The great part is this is a single line that does the reload. If I comment that out, I can just do the build and deployment. Whenever the build finishes. All right. This is game dev, friends. I like my kids like I like my flower. Self-raising. I don't like that, actually. Also, flower requires you to prep it first before you raise it. And then you have to do something with it after it gets raised, right? So you don't just... You know, it just doesn't... You don't just have, like, flour in the flour container and it just raises. You have to, like, mix things in. You gotta knead it. You gotta punch it a little bit. Not a great analogy. Then you gotta leave it in a bowl for a while. I don't know where this analogy is going. Then you gotta stick it in an oven and cook it. Okay. Okay, so it's still never... Oh, I see. I was just turning it the wrong way. Okay, so it keeps initializing the bestiary data manager. But my theory was it should be able to update if you switch it back and forth. But I don't know for sure if the bestiary is actually saving properly. So we have, you know, boar, green snake. So what I could do in my game engine. Don't let me leave this turned on. What I could do is see what happens if I add something real time and like switch it back and forth. Because that should be the biggest, you know, indicator that something worked or didn't. Okay, so we have a bestiary. So we don't have like a hornet in here or something. And right now, in case you get a little hornety later, cloud saves is on. Okay. So we're gonna go here. We're gonna say add bestiary monster data. Hornet. Hyper hornet, apparently. Go bestiary, and we have a hornet. So now what should happen if I go to settings and turn off cloud saves. Right? And I'll quit the menu just for sanity's sake. Go back to bestiary, and there's a hornet. So there shouldn't be a hornet there. And just for sort of a sanity check, I'm going to go back. I'm going to turn cloud saves on again. Go to bestiary. Still see a hornet. Okay. So now let's go to settings, and we're going to turn cloud saves off. And instead of a hornet, we'll just add them all, right? Add all bestiary. Oops. So now we should see everything, every possible thing. And then we're going to go to our settings and we're going to turn cloud saves on. So if this is updated properly, I should only see a subset, but it's not. Okay. So the real question is whether the bestiary data is being initialized properly. It says it's initializing it. So if... Oh, I see. No, it says new, though. It says new data manager. It goes into the database and gets all of the monsters. It goes to the... Here, need this reset primarily for... Oh, this is just... We go through the monster data. If it doesn't have reset, why does it not has reset? We would delete the key. Otherwise, we would add it to bestiary items. Bestiary items is private read only. So I think that's part of the problem. I think it's because that's read only. That would be a problem. Hey, Realms and Relics, how you doing? Welcome. Welcome. I'm fixing bugs. Potentially going to have a shorter stream tonight because I found a pretty big bug I introduced just now. Fixing another bug. Great. All to do with user input. Are you a game dev? I feel like your name implies that. Oh wait, you've been here before. We chatted before. Has this always been your name? "2021 was the first time. Oh, I know who you are. How are you? Yep, I got it. How are you doing, Level Up? Have you leveled up your coffee? Did you move on from the whole leveling up thing and go into some realms instead? How's life? I was like, there's no way that you had no first timer message and there's 40 messages here. You gotta have changed your name or something. Your banner still has coffee beans. Okay, so what I was gonna do is look at Realms and Relics. Are you still doing the podcasting stuff? All right. Bestiary. And then my calculations are correct, and they almost never are. Still not sure if it's saved when I set the value. So okay. No. Slowly getting back into it. Life took over, so there has been a hiatus. Yeah, I can know how that goes. I haven't had much of a hiatus though lately. Oh, I like how there's a boa and a boar. What's the difference between a boa and a boar? An R. And, a whole different set of features. Okay, so come on, bestiary, we can figure this out. This is part of the problem, I think. But do we also reset it? This is right. Initialize default item doesn't matter. That's just if there aren't enough. Instance equals new bestiary data manager. Okay, I think I know what the problem is. Well, it's good to see you again. Had to change the name because some other company was using Level Up Coffee. Oh yeah, that sucks. When thankfully Alterium Shift is not a very common name, although apparently there's a band in Germany. Is it? I think it's Germany. The band's name is Alterium, and so they have Alterium.band. Which, you know, could be responsible for some of our traffic. There was also like an Alterium like a coin or something. Alterium L2 testnet, an alt blockchain network. Alterium protocol. But what I find funny about both of those groups is that they didn't exist before Alterium Shift. Because whenever I saw them, I went and I looked them up, and I'm like, wait a minute, Alterium Shift has been around for at least a year before either of those came around. So I'd like to think that somewhere along the line, like the band or the blockchain, they're like, oh, Alterium, that's a cool name. And they decided to use it. I don't think it was spontaneous. I think someone saw our name and said, yeah, Alterium Shift. We'll just remove the shift part of it. Okay, so this is the problem. Oh wait, on window open though, this does get the available just here. Not read only. I don't think it caches this. It's a static list, but it... Okay, what is this stuff? It's just getting the bestiary items of the instance. An instance is... Alright, only if instance is null. And when we initialize it, we set instance to a new version. So that should be giving me a new version. Oh no. I mean, yay, Walliver's raiding. Hey raiders, what's up? How'd the stream go? I had a moment where I was like, well, I'm glad Wahlberg's not rating me because I can't stream for too long tonight because I just did a hotfix tonight and broke something else that I have to hotfix tonight. So I'm going to increment my minor version, my patch version number by 1 twice in a row today. It's okay. It takes an hour and a half to do the build. So, you know, whatever. It's okay. I mean, if you're using a keyboard, the arrow keys just won't work. or the WASD keys. So you have to play the game with controller. Full controller support. No keyboard support. Every other key works. But I don't know, Wallaber, if you know much about input masking in Unity input system. But, you know, I know you have to go. So you should go away, but it's nice to see you. Thanks for the raid. I hope you had a good stream. Someday I should tell you about my woes. Wait a minute, I tell you all the time. That's one way to encourage controller usage. Just turn off keyboard usage. Sorry, can't use keyboard. Oh my god, what did I just do? What did I do with my TPS report? TLS allocation. I've really effed something up. You know you've messed something up bad when you're getting this like TLS allocation thing. Unfreed allocation. I created a massive memory leak. Have a good one. See you later. Hey, Stuff. You got this. Yes, I'm Motzi. I make stuff. I sent a link to Alterium Shift. I would open it on stream and show it, but my browser doesn't like me recording for some reason. Oh, good. I'm glad you're almost getting mod support for your stream. IDTO purpose. Thank you for the... Or is it ID top? ID toe? ID to purpose? Sorry, I'm just getting caught up in words. Anyway. What are we working on? Oh, yeah. I was working on breaking things. Look at... I've allocated lots of bytes. Allocation of bytes. Where is this even coming from? What am I allocating? How did I achieve this amazingness? Oh, good. 69 monsters. 69. That's right. That's all we're getting. That's interesting. It's I created an infinite loop somehow. Oh, I see. I know exactly how I did it. What I need to do. I'm an idiot. That's why. Okay. I put inside of an initializer, I put something that then calls something that requires initialization. So it created an infinite initialization loop. Oops. Let's try it that way. This will work a little better. Yeah, you don't get... No, it's multiple choice. You don't get any of the whole Wallaber smarty pants here. Wallaber's like, see, here's all these smart things. Smart words. Smart, 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 smart. Is it still trying to allocate it? Oh, that's even worse. It's so bad right now. It's like, sorry, you can't do anything because you've made a bad choice in life. And I'm never going to let you live it down. This might stop it. Jeez. Look at this. It's just stuck in an infinite loop. This is crazy. You see, Wallaber breaks stuff that works. I just break stuff that I shouldn't. Of course, if you try to reallocate something while you're allocating it, it's going to crash. Of course it is. I will say, so my background is software development in like the SaaS industry, so web application development. And while you can get weird memory issues, especially using like Java, .NET heap, you're like trying to store something that stays in between requests of a website, most of the time you don't have to worry about it. Once the request is done, all the memory is destroyed. In game dev, you don't have that luxury because you have objects that continue to exist. Okay, I think I must have got myself stuck in infinite loop. So I'm going to close this. I made bad choices. I'm impressed at how badly I messed that up. It's impressive. Okay. Only thing impressive in my stream, how badly I can break things. And so I've been lately learning and remembering that references to things are important to keep track of. Maybe it's because I didn't grow up in the C and C++ world where you had to worry about pointers. Even though pointers aren't technically references. And you can have pointers to pointers, apparently, which sounds insane. Not gonna lie. Alright, this should be okay, right? No more brokey broke? Yeah, I think we're good. Let's try this again. Right now, it's not very exciting, but I a dumb thing. I really want to tell Wallaber about it because I think he would find it funny. In cloud saves for Steam, usually you just point it at like a folder or something. I guess you could write code to do the cloud saving, but Steam has this thing where it just like auto harnesses the data. Hardest power. And when I first created cloud saves, I made a copy of the files. And the reason I did that was on the thinking that I didn't want people to potentially lose their save. Because they might have multiple machines they played on or something. Which is fine. Except we have persistent data that I also put in cloud saves. And the setting for that persistent data is in the persistent data. So whether you're in cloud saves or not, it's saved in persistent data. It's just a big mess. And I made bad choices. That's all I'm saying. So the point being is stuff doesn't get properly saved in the cloud save data because it doesn't know which one it's pulling. It's sort of like the short of it, the long and short of it. Let's go in here and see what happened. Go to our settings. We'll turn this off. All right, so we have 69 uwu monsters. Dynamic Donut, thank you for the follow. And then, but this says there's only 6 available monsters. So if I turn this on again, it's saying the same thing. So here's where the problem lies. Oh wait, I gotta turn that way. So it says there's only 6 monsters. Well, I have this little fancy console. I can do like add all. I can add all bestiary monsters, right? So what's supposed to happen when the bestiary is added to, all of that stuff is saved into the persistent data. Obviously, there's a little bit of a UI issue here I gotta fix at some point. So theoretically, my persistent storage should have all of those monsters stored in it. So if I were to load cloud saves, I just push to the right, I have 69 monsters. Okay, that's good. We got the uwu number going. And because I'm still in this save, there they are. But what should happen if I turn cloud saves off is I should only have 6 monsters come back. Not the uwu number. But you see, it still says there's 69. So that feels to me like maybe it's not actually loading the persistent information properly. Instance not load persistent beta. I can do a debugger, but it just takes longer. So I'm trying to see if I can avoid that. So this is the property for the persistent file path. And the way it does it is if we're not on Switch, we go and check whether enable cloud saves is turned on or off. And if it is on, we get the folder name. And if it's not, we don't even get it. It'll just get the persistent data path. Is this the right value? Yeah, that gets set here. But I want to set it after it's changed. Feels like I'd want to set it after it's changed. I feel like I want to do it in this order. I don't think that's going to fix the problem, but I'm going to do that just for checking sake. Sorry for the little snake tongue. Didn't want liquid to get out of my face. The one thing that you guys don't get from Oliver is dad jokes. He doesn't like them. He has no sense of humor. I'm kidding, obviously. The oak tree that betrayed its son was accused of what? Free son. I feel like I've heard this joke done better. I don't think this is going to solve the problem, but I am genuinely curious. My guess is no matter what I do, it's always going to have 6 monsters in the persistent store. And actually, there might be a different reason for this problem. That's the case. 6 monsters, 6 monsters. Okay. So then it could be that we're not saving the persistent store data before we change it. Although I could have sworn when we set a persistent store value, it saves the file. Let's see. Get value map. Save persistent data. Okay. Write file data. Persistent file path. This is the same path, so it should be saving to the same file. And then file system, whatever it is. In this case, it's going to be just a PC file system. We save it here. Okay, so we'll say I'm really trying to avoid the debugger. When I turn the debugger on stream, not only do these compiles take long already, but it takes longer and everything moves slower. What do you call a cow during an earthquake? Milkshake. My wife threatened to divorce me when I said I was going to give our daughter a silly name, so I called her bluff. Called the daughter bluff. These are the jokes. Boo! Hiss. This is why when I go to Walliver's stream, even though I'm his mod, his one and only mod, I go in and I tell him bad jokes. Hey, Stoff. Stoff, how is life? Have I texted you lately? Probably not. Have you driven a Ford lately? Have you driven a Ford lately? Okay. So let's go into cloud saves. So the fudge. That was a lot of writing for just touching the cloud save setting. Oh, it's doing it for everything. That's weird how many times it's rewriting things. Really hammering the file system. Might need to look into that. Anyway, doesn't matter. What I want to find out is if I change this value, does it write? Yes. So it's writing to Alterium shift, although it's a weird path. It's still writing the value. So it's on, and now it's writing to the base file data. Okay, so it is writing the file, so that's good. Pretty busy and tired. Yeah, that's true. Sorry to hear that, man. I mean, am I? Am I sorry to hear that you're busy? No, just tired. Because being busy is okay, right? Good to have things to do. You notice Blue Sky's been picking up a bit? Pretty exciting. Feels like a real social media platform now. If I say give all items, no, add all bestiary data. Look how many times it writes. Bet it's 69 times. Busy is good, but I do need to set aside some time to detach. Yes, I agree. I was actually showing in my... There's a lot of writing that's happening. But it's writing to the right file, so that's good. So theoretically, it should be saved that way. If I go to settings, still writing to this file, it doesn't really matter. Weird that it writes so many times though. So now we've switched it. Oh, weird. Reloading persistent store. I mean, if anything, it should be storing it in the new one. And yet somehow when I reload the app, it doesn't have the right data. Oh, now it has 69. Ooh. This is really confusing. So enable cloud save is on. It shouldn't though. The bestiary monsters should not... There should not be 69 in there. I don't think I added them. Unless it's just a matter of the data not being there after... Until after you load it. Right, so now they both have 69. Okay. So then cloud saves is on. I will go in and do reset bestiary data. So now the bestiary data should be much fewer than that number, right? There's just 3 of them. We'll try quitting. Reopening. I think, do I have a static initializer on this? I think I do. Yeah, I do, because it's the runtime init thing. Now we loaded it. We have 3 monsters. We go to cloud saves and turn it off. We should only get... Oh, we should get 69 monsters. Okay, now we have 69 monsters. I did not plan that number. I have no idea why it's at 69. So here's all the monsters. So then if I'm in game and I go switch it to on, it still says 69. Okay. So there is a problem. Somehow it's like, yeah, it is a power move. We're not going to add any more monsters to the game. There's going to be 69 base monsters and everything's going to be a variation. We'll have 69 monsters and 69 variations. It'll never change. So what is happening? We have made bad choices. And by we, I mean me. What's happening is... not something I know. So in the cloud settings, we set it enabled. Oh, shh. So wait. We say enable cloud saves and then reload. What does it say in the ordering of events? Reloading persistent store. Do I have an ordering issue? No. It loads the instance and then triggers the reloaded method. if data does not equal null. Let me see if there's something else about persistent store I have in here. We have an instance. This is the persistent store object. Load should override data. Lopar, how are you? How's life in the Lopar lane? Something feels weird. So, where do I use it? 16 places we use a persistent store. Interestingly, we don't have a bestiary option here. These are all the assemblies that use it. There might be something with the way the Newtonsoft thing goes. Loading persistent store, populate object. Target is this. Is that right though? Or do I want to do target as the instance? Theoretically, the instance should be the same, I think. You know what? Maybe instance is not the same thing as this. I don't have a constructor on this. Is this the same thing as instance? Is there a reason I shouldn't just use instance? I should probably just use instance, right? Target is going to be instance. But that's going to be the thing that gets used. I don't know if that'll help. I have a lot of concerns about my choices in software development. The most concerning thing that I think about for myself is, for whatever reason, I want to be a game dev, and I shouldn't. I got a day job as a chief technology officer. A lot of people want to get there in their careers, and I'm like, yeah, I'd rather be a game dev. Feels like there's something wrong with that thought process. You know what? I hate money. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Let me see. Loading persistent store. Reloading. Loading. Initializing. 69. So now we'll try our same use case. We'll just go clear out one of them. Listen, I'm of a generation of people who... Wait, I actually don't know what of a generation I am. Millennials? Do millennials care about money? I don't... Yes. Yes, they do. Found custom face for Atlas. That's good. Why do I even have that comment? I don't care about your face. Let's see what happens here. Boop. Now we have 69 monsters. They're all there. Okay. Then we go to settings and we turn cloud settings back on. And there's still 69 launches. We just have never seen any money. We care in principle. Actually, that's the struggle for me is I fundamentally do think money's important to support, I mean, personally, I just wish people could have more than basic needs met. I don't even think it should be basic. I should think it'd be beyond just like, being able to survive. I think somebody should want to work at a restaurant or whatever. Like they genuinely enjoy it and that's what they want to do with their career. And I think they should have the same income ability as a CTO. Because people should want to do what they're doing, right? Although at the same time, knowing people I've worked with, some people need that. Like I need to be able to strive for money to be successful. I need something that's like that I'm striving for. I don't know. So I still don't understand what's going on here. There's a possibility that like the persistent store. Okay. Let's consider something else. How does this get accessed? How does the get method happen here? This uses instance, which is here, which is the object. So my only thought is maybe the Newtonsoft thing doesn't override what's there. Although it demonstrably did when we changed from no bestiary items to 69 best. So it's not reducing them, but it's adding them. But it's also not saving them appropriately. So let me think here. Does this do anything? Value target. What are the JSON serializer settings? Missing member handling. Default value, object creation, preserve reference. I don't see anything that would indicate a setting necessary for overriding values. So maybe what I need to do if I reload is completely reset the instance. Like maybe I need to do this. Like that. Sometimes I wonder if I save time by not trying to debug using a debugger, or is loads equals true. Let's try that. It could just be something where like the object isn't being properly overwritten or something. It's retaining information. Like the JSON, the Newtonsoft JSON thing may not be able to handle existing data. So it wants me to be giving it something that has nothing in it. Could be that simple. I sure hope so. And if I can get this functionally-ish functioning, then I have to move on and go do an hour-and-a-half build. I have a bunch of machines here. What I really want is to have like distributed build where I push a button and like 3 machines fire up and start building. But, you know, it takes time to do that. Time I don't have. Okay, let's go to our settings. No, yes. No? I think right now, no matter what I do in settings, it's going to say that there's 69 of these things. 69, right? So we'll start with it off. I keep losing my mouse control. Get all these monsters in here. Reset bestiary data. That will have no monster data. That should be saved, theoretically. And then if I turn cloud saves on, we have 69. If I turn it off, this is annoying AF. I don't know how I get to what might actually be going on. So let me just go check this method. Loading persistent store. So I think that happens, right? Yeah, so that does happen. It replaces the instance object. What I'm feeling like is that there might be something hanging on to a reference. Because I can't see there being instance. We create a new one, instance.load. Get the new persistent store. Load it. How do I have this set up here? So these are static. Oh, wait a minute. They're static objects. Type value map. Oh. So this is probably a problem. Do I have a runtime initializer? That's not even going to make a difference, but I mean it will. But so set. Bool dictionary. What am I working with? I'm working with strings and things like that. So let's see. String dictionary, get that, try get value. String dictionary is not static. So that should be new object. What do I use the type value map for? I think I just use that for editing in nodes. So these dictionaries shouldn't be statically stored. If I reloaded object, does it come back as new? There is an instance though. I'm not storing the serialized objects. I don't think they restore in the editor or in the runtime environment. These are just mappings. Type and type value, right? This is just how I know how to do some of this logic. Okay, so these are the keys, these are type values. Don't care about that actually. I wrote all this before I had ChatGPT. I think. I'm pretty sure I did. I'm sure it shows. This is not the brag I think it is. Save load persistent data. Okay, what is this? This is where we load it, right? The only other thing I can think of is like get string. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm gonna have to call it because I really need to get that build started. It's gonna be an 1.5 hour build. I want to get to sleep at a reasonable time. So, shorter stream tonight, like I said, primarily because I broke something and I don't want people yelling at me. No, I broke something, or no, I'm leaving. Let me just make sure nothing is totally effed up with my cloud saves. We're gonna go, visit somebody else. Who should we go visit? No more stream. Yeah, sorry. It's basically stuff. I had someone complained that the controllers were. Oh my gosh, the controller wasn't working, and you try to like close a menu and the menu wouldn't close. I figured out what that problem was, and then while I started streaming, I was trying to move around with the arrow keys, and I realized that the thing I solved for the controller made arrow keys stop working on the keyboard. That feels significant enough that I should probably go fix it. Because I think people are going to want the keyboard to work. Because fundamentally, the keyboard issue, like when the controller issue happened, people are like, well, at least the keyboard works. I was like, well, the controller works, but don't worry about the keyboard, I guess. Fix it live. It's fixed. I have it fixed. I have to deploy it. And to do that, I got to run a build. And it's literally an 1.5 hours of a build running. So I'm going to go, and I want to keep working on some of these other things I'm doing. So who should we go see? Who should we go see? Do we have anybody new that we haven't seen in a while? There's some people on my list that I really want to raid, but like every time I go to do it, they're like not at their chair and stuff. So I can't raid you. We do Tom Millman. Tom's a nice guy. I'll raid Tom. He's doing Unity dev. Can't fault that. Oh my god, why is my copy pasting not working? Everything is broken. I'll just type. Tom Millman. It's like a mailman, but Millman. We're gonna go see Tom. I'm gonna go get another build out. So we're gonna have 1.4.1.2 tonight. All in one night. This is how we roll on Mock the Screen. I'll be back on Saturday. I might check out the new updates on RPG in a Box. We'll see. I thought I was going to do more things on the side, but then I started getting back into Alterium Shift Dev. So I was already doing it, but whatever. Anyway, y'all have a good night. See you, Stoff. Thanks for the Rage Wallaber. Thanks all for hanging out. The new follows. See you later.